Hey, this is Lloyd, and this week we decided to take a walk through Dagger Woods, which is in Antigonish County, Nova Scotia. If you like the video, feel free to hit the like button. If you like the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Share it with anybody you think might like it, and if you don't like it, share it with your enemies. I will punish them for free. So, Dagger Woods, Nova Scotia. It's got a bit of a history. It is apparently the home of some kind of cryptid, an animal whose existence has not yet been proven. So apparently there's some kind of sasquatch running around out there. We really don't know much about Dagger Woods. They say back in the 18th century some guy murdered his wife with a dagger. Maybe that's how it got its name, but husbands and wives have been killing one another since time immemorial, so maybe there's a bit more to it, hard to say. But one death doesn't necessarily seem to me like the kind of thing that would which would cause a legend to be born. There are more people killed in that area on the highway on a weekly, monthly and yearly basis. No legends spring up about those. So I guess the fact that happened in the 18th century coupled with kind of the creepy location spread a legend of some kind of sasquatch. They call it the Hidey Hinder or the Dagger Woods howler. And if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I'll tell you what I found. So, Dagger Woods, yeah, there's really not much of it left. There's a highway that punches through it. There's a secondary highway that runs around it. The entire area is kind of boggy. There's a lot of spruce. Much of it's been cut down for farmland, and the rest of it's been cut down for logging. And as a result, anything that lives there is probably going to be fairly small. What lived there in the past, hard to say. So why do people believe in things like Sasquatch anyway? Well, that's a good question. The only answer I can think of is people don't get out much. The world is not that interesting to them in their sheltered, protected little enclaves. And Michael Shermer famously said that, superstition is hereditary. If you were an early mammal, a hominid living on the plains of Africa, and you heard a rustle in the bush behind you, and you checked to see what it was and ran away, oh, that could be a tiger, or that could be a lion, or that could be some great cat gonna eat me. So you quickly look over your shoulder and you run away without thinking. Well, you just made an error. You had a false positive. The great cat wasn't there going to eat you, but you ran away and lived to reproduce and had all kinds of other baby hominids that grew up to be superstitious just like you. And if you were the skeptical kind of early hominid that said, gee, I wonder what that is, and you went to the bush and, well, there was nothing there, you were fine. But if it was a cat, well, guess what? You got eaten, and you didn't get to grow up and pass on your genes and have all kinds of skeptical baby hominids. So yeah, for that reason, smart people can believe in some pretty dumb things. So in Dagger Woods, this creature, they call it the Hidey Hinder. I guess there's a local band called the Stanfields. They wrote a song about it, and in their version of events, it came from Scotland in the 18th century on the immigrant ships that came here. And I'll probably agree with them that some of the people that came over were steeped in traditions and lore that went back centuries and brought with them their superstitions. As for the Hidey Hinder or the Dagger Woods howler, well, guess what? This is the end of the video. I didn't find anything. turns out that there's not much that could live there other than, you know, chipmunks. It's not even a good place for deer, really. You know, maybe at some of the farm fields they'll travel through. But you know, the belief in the Sasquatch is a fairly prevalent thing. People want to believe in this stuff because, you know, it's something to do. It gives them some excitement. As for you know, a Sasquatch living in Nova Scotia, probably not. In this day and age, you know, they're not even going to live in British Columbia or northern Alberta. You know, there's oil roads that crisscross that whole area. Show me the body, as they say. There's nothing. There's nothing that's going to escape notice with today's technology. And, you know, you can hike 6 hours in any direction, and you know, you start enjoying it. And, you know, 5 minutes later, some guy pulls up on an ATV or a 4x4, and you know. So yeah, you know, in my personal opinion, yeah, no Sasquatch. Now, when I was a kid, growing up behind my house, there was an area of woods that you know, the local men and the local hunters and even members of my family called the Spooky Doo Woods, and you know, they were convinced that there was a Sasquatch living up there. Well, you know, 15, 16-year-old me wanted to see this for myself, so I hiked around up in there, and I went up in behind the beaver pond that you weren't supposed to go behind. What did I find? Well, I didn't find anything there either. So, you know, what is it that these people are seeing? Well, you know, in my case, members of my family reported seeing, you know, something hairy that had red hair. Well, there's black bears up there, and every now and again one of those is cinnamon colored or brown. You know, and probably the most rare thing would be an eastern cougar. You know, you're not going to see a whole lot of them around, but it's possible. It's entirely possible. And, you know, for something that's rare, maybe somebody could mistake it with a little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of excitement, a flair for the dramatic. Somebody could, you know, see a cat in a tree and think it's something else. And as for the howls, well, you know, if you've ever stepped on a cat, you know that they make some strange noises. And, well, if you've ever gone rabbit hunting or heard a rabbit scream when it's in distress, they make some pretty horrible noises as well. So couple that with imagination, and, you know, you've got everything you need for experienced hunters to make those false positives where, you know, they see a Sasquatch when really, you know, all they saw was the back end of an odd-colored bear running through the woods, or the howls they heard was just a rabbit being torn apart by a coyote. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry to report no Sasquatch in Dagger Woods. Be careful on the highway when you're driving by there, though, because it is definitely dangerous, especially in the winter. So drive safe and have a good day.